Here we are on the back of the review for the first quarter test for geometry. Let's take a look at the first question here. It says that there are lines represented by the equations that and that are parallel, perpendicular, or either. Well, there's one way to find out. We need to find the slopes of each of those. So I'm going to take the first equation and solve it for y. And I get 3y equals negative 2x plus 15. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. And I get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. The slope being the negative 2/3. The other equation, if I rewrite it and subtract the 6x from both sides, I get 4y equals negative 6x plus 15. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And I get y equals negative 6/4 is going to simplify down to negative 3/2 plus 15/4. Now the slope of this one is negative 3/2. So they are reciprocals of each other. Parallel, they would be the same. Perpendicular, they would be opposite reciprocals. So this one would be considered neither. Number 14, it says angle 2 and blank are corresponding angles. If we look up here, angle 2 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. Number 3, angle 3 and blank are alternate interior angles. We would say angle 8. Suppose we should put the angle symbol in front. Angle 6 and what are alternate exterior angles? Well, angle 6 and angle 1 are alternate exterior. 8 and blank are consecutive interior. 8 and angle 4. If the measure of angle 7 here is 125 degrees, then the measure of angle 4, which is its corresponding angle, would be 125 degrees. Angle 5 would be 125 degrees because they are vertical angles. And the measure of angle 3 would be, well, if 4 is 125, angle 3 would be its supplement, which would make it 55 degrees. For question 16, solve for x given that 3 is this and 8 is that. Well, let's take a look up here. 3 and 8 are alternate interior angles, so they would be congruent to each other. So we would set them equal to each other. And if I subtract 10 from both sides, I get 8x equals 120, which gives me 15 for x. For number 17, they say that the measure of angle 1 and 2, well, 1 and 2 would make a linear pair. So I'm going to say 5x minus 16 plus x plus 100 has to be equal to 180. Simplifying, I get 6x plus 84 equals 180. Minus the 84 from both sides, I get 6x equals 96. And dividing by 6 gives me 16. So x is equal to 16 down there. For number 3, it says, or for number 18, it says draw a pair of acute angles that are both complementary and adjacent. So if I draw, that's bad. Let's try that again. There we go. Here's the complementary and adjacent. Notice because they're adjacent, they share that one side. Because they're complementary, they add up to 90 degrees, so that would be a right angle. And now I'm going to draw a conclusion about their non-adjacent sides. So they're talking about this angle, this side here, and this side here. There's two things you could say. You could say they make a right angle, or you could say those sides are perpendicular. For number 19, draw an acute angle and an obtuse angle, and that they are supplementary and adjacent. Well, if they're adjacent, they would share that side. And I'm going to draw a conclusion about this side here and this side here. Well, we could make two conclusions, that they make a straight angle or a straight line. Number 20. The midpoint of a segment has coordinates that, so here's the midpoint, is at negative 417. And one of the endpoints is at negative 214. Find the other endpoint. I'm going to label that other endpoint D, and I'm going to go, my x value goes down 2 to go from this endpoint to the midpoint, so it has to go down another 2 to get to this endpoint. The y value goes up by 3, so it needs to go up by 3 to get to the next point, which would put us at negative 620. For number 21, it says to find the slope between these 2 points. To do that, we're going to use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's plug in and get 2 minus 7 over 3 minus 6. Simplifying, I get negative 5 over negative 3. Negative over negative makes the positive 5/3. In this one, since we already know the slope is 5/3, it says substitute the given pair and your slope from 21 into the formula. So y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use this point here, 3, 2, and my slope that I have. This is the x value, this is the y value, so I get 2 equals 5/3 times 2 equals 5/3 times 3 plus b. Simplifying, I get b equals negative 3. So I know that my b equals negative 3. And then 23, it says, write the equation of the line and slope-intercept form. Well, we said the slope was 5/3, the b was negative 3. So I'm going to put it into the equation y equals 5/3 x minus 3. And the last part of the question, write the equation of a line that is parallel to AB that goes through the point 3, 6. Well, if the slope of AB was 5/3 and we're going through this point, 3, 6, again, if we have a point and a slope, we're going to put it into point-slope form. Y minus 6 equals 5/3 times the quantity x minus 3. Simplifying, I get 5/3 x minus 5. Add 1. Add 1, and I get y equals 5/3 x. Add 6, I get 1. Sorry. And then the last question that we have, if we have a right triangle with its hypotenuse at 25 and its leg at 7, we're looking for the other leg. We know that the Pythagorean theorem works on all right triangles, so I'm going to plug in what I know. I have x squared plus 7 squared equals 25 squared. X squared plus 49 equals 625 minus 49 minus 49. And I get x squared is equal to 576. If I square root both sides, I get x equals 24.